We're surrounded by fabrics all the time, but we rarely stop and think about how they're actually made. And beyond just simple weaving and knitting, there's this whole hidden world of textile engineering. So today, we're going to explore the special techniques that give certain fabrics their unique strength, function, and beauty.
Okay, so let me start by asking you a question. What could a super sturdy rope, a sports net, and, that really delicate bridal wear possibly have in common? I mean, they seem like total opposites, right?
Well, believe it or not, the answer is all about their underlying structure. It's how they're built. Whether the goal is the strength of a braid, the function of a net, or just the pure beauty of lace, it all comes down to a very deliberate construction choice. This isn't just random, it's practically engineering. All right, let's dive into our first technique, braiding. And if there's one word you need to remember here, it's diagonals. So think about regular weaving for a second. Is that simple, over under, right? Like a grid? Braiding? Totally different game. Here, you've got three or more yarns, and they're all moving at the same time, interlacing diagonally. It's this constant, angled movement that creates this incredibly strong, unified structure. And that diagonal structure, that's the secret sauce. Because every single yarn is sharing the load at an angle, any force just gets spread out across the whole thing. The result is something that's super strong and tough against scrapes, but it's also really flexible. And as you can see, you can make braids that are flat, round like a tube, or even totally solid. Yeah, once you know what to look for, you start seeing braiding everywhere. It's in climbing ropes, which have to be crazy strong but also pliable. It's in the shoelaces you tie every single day. And it's even in decorative things like a Rocky, that traditional friendship bracelet. It's just the perfect combination of being tough and flexible. Okay, so we've seen how to build for strengths. But what if you want the complete opposite? What if the empty space, the hole, is actually the most important part? Well, that brings us right to our second technique, netting. Now, it's really easy to mix up netting and knitting, but they are fundamentally different. Knitting, as the slide shows, is all about continuous loops from basically one long piece of yarn. Netting, though, that's all about making a stable, open grid by literally tying knots in the yarns at very specific spots. Yeah, so with netting, the holes are the feature. The entire goal is to create this open, lightweight mesh. The yarn is just there to create the frame. The real function comes from all that empty space. And that open structure is exactly why netting has the properties it does. I mean, it's mostly empty space, so of course it's super lightweight. Air, light, water, it all just passes right through. That makes it breathable and permeable. It's a fabric that's designed to let things through, not to cover things up. And the uses for it just make perfect sense, right? A fishing net lets the water out but keeps the fish in. A sports net stops a ball, but you can still see through it. We also see it in things like produce bags and even in fashion with something like a beautiful, airy net dupatta. All right, so we've talked strength and we've talked openness. Our last technique, it shifts gears completely. The goal here isn't about being durable or functional. It's all about pure, intricate artistry and beauty. Let's talk about lace. Lace making is without a doubt a true art form. It's unbelievably complex. You're combining all these different techniques, looping, twisting, and knotting, to basically draw with thread. The final product, whether it's done by hand or by a machine, is this purely ornamental, beautiful openwork fabric. And you can see the priorities have completely flipped here, right? Unlike braiding, lace isn't built to be tough. In fact, it's often really delicate. Its value isn't in its strength, it's in this stunningly intricate beauty, that transparency, and just the sheer skill that goes into its design. So, of course, you find lace in places where beauty is the #1 priority. We see it in high fashion, in delicate bridal veils, elegant curtains, and does that gorgeous decorative border on a beautiful sari. Its entire job is just to add grace and ornamentation. Okay, so we've looked at 3 totally different ways to build a textile. Now let's put it all together and really see that crystal clear link between the structure, the property it creates, and its ultimate purpose.
This table just lays it all out so perfectly. Look at braiding. The method is that diagonal interlacing that creates the property of strength, which gives it the purpose of durability. Then you have netting. The method is knotting or looping, creating the property of openness for the purpose of permeability, letting things through. And finally, lace. A super complex method of twisting and looping creates the property of intricacy for the purpose of pure decoration. See that? Method, property, purpose. It's such a clear and logical flow. So really, the biggest thing to take away from all this is simple. In the world of fabrics, form is designed for function. Whether you're going for strength or permeability or just sheer beauty, the underlying structure is never an accident. It's always the solution.
So I want to leave you with this thought. There's a whole story of engineering and art woven into literally every fabric around us. Now that you know the language of how they're built, take a closer look.